Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Front Row Access Podcast. I am your host, Stephen Russo. And that's my co host, Gavin.
Hello there.
Now, we all know it's Thanksgiving time. We're about a week away, right?
That sounds crazy.
Not even a week away. We're less than a week away. And, some of the things that you think of when Thanksgiving comes around, you know, the dinner, the family time, Black Friday shopping, and of course, WWE Survivor Series. Ha!
Yeah.
Anyway, WWE Survivor Series will be happening this Saturday, and boy, do we have quite the match card to go through. And it's been very exciting the whole entire build-up, and I can't wait to see what happens. So, without further ado, how about we get right back into this? But first, before we touch into it, Mountain Dew, Pepsi, hit us up. You know what to do. Front row access 15 at gmail.com. Hit us up. I promise I will market your product perfectly. And before we touch into the professional wrestling card coming up, I do need to do some brief MMA news. Just briefly, I'll touch on it later. But the PFL has now bought Bellator MMA. Now the PFL has become another super promotion right up there with UFC, and I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with that shit. But we'll find out.
War.
Yeah, definitely war.
Games.
War games. War games. Anyway, so we have five matches on this card?
Correct. 5 matches.
We got 5 matches on this card, and it's been quite the exciting build-up. And there's actually been a build-up because that's actually been a bit of a problem that the more B tier um, pay-per-views as of late.
I mean, shit, you say a bit of a build-up. I mean, the rest of these matches, yeah, alright. But the War Games matches themselves, I mean, let's be real. We thought Raw was being repetitive for months on end, but this is a story that's been fucking culminating for like 6 months.
This is facts. This is Papa H just cooking up in his fucking office right now. And now let's see if he can figure out how to actually book a babyface. Anyway, I'm gonna get into the first match on this card, and it looks like that match is going to be Carlito of the LWO versus Santos Escobar. This finally made the LWO group interesting and not just a fucking gimmick, which I'm very, very happy about because I'll be honest, whenever the LWO came on screen, I was like, why? Why?
Yeah, Santos, Ray Zelina, and nobody's.
And a bunch of nobodies. It's Joaquin Wild and some other motherfucker, but I don't know who that is. And maybe he'll. But anyway, Carlito has just recently joined the LWO. He joined it in leading up to the Crown Jewel pay-per-view when Rey Mysterio was going to defend his United States Championship against Logan Paul, which Logan Paul ultimately came out as the victor and now the new United States Champion. And I believe that this was a very good call because we all know Logan Paul. You know him. We know him. He's pretty much A-list celebrity at this point. And, he's very active on social media and always makes his videos, his podcasts, and everything around said championship, unlike another someone that I might know by the name of Roman Reigns. But,
Yeah, at least you still get to see the championship with Logan.
exactly. Which is why I kind of like the fact that they gave it to him. But at the same time, I mean, it's going to get eyes on the show. It's going to get a draw. People are going to be like, wait, what's that belt? I didn't even know that belt existed. For very casual WWE fans. And yeah, it was a good call. But in that match, some shenanigans went down, and obviously Logan Paul won via some heel shit. So brass knucks to the face of Rey Mysterio, and those brass knucks were put in there by I think his manager or something like that, and
Initially, yeah.
by his manager or something, and then of course Santos Escobar came in out of nowhere and just beat the manager up real quick, and then was like, "Hey yo, I'm gonna go and chase this manager out of this place, so I'm just gonna accidentally put these brass knucks right where Logan can reach them, so he can grab them and punch Rey Mysterio in the face with them." Ultimately, that happens. Gets decked in the face. 1, 2, 3, new champion.
See, what I really don't understand is if he wanted Ray to lose and he didn't want to be called out by Santos, why stop him anyway?
Facts. But yeah,
I mean, not called out by Santos, called out by Carlito. Santos is the dumbass that did it.
so yeah, Santos leaves him accidentally in the ring next Monday night on Raw. Was it Raw or was it SmackDown? SmackDown. And Carlito comes out, confronts Santos, like, I think you put that there on purpose, guy. And then Santos is like, how could you think this way? And then everybody starts turning on Santos a little bit, and then ultimately his emotions bottled up too much, and well, um,
Bye bye, Ray.
bye bye Rey Mysterio. Now his leg is broken. I think that was a storyline injury to write him off. But before we get more into Santos though, is Ray done? Do you think that's the end of it?
I believe Ray will be retiring at WrestleMania, so we may see a Rey Mysterio return at the Royal Rumble, which I would be there to see in person, actually. And it would start from there as to where Ray would possibly have a maybe career versus career match against Santos, where he would lose his final match at WrestleMania.
And Santos is the one to retire him. Yeah, that
Yeah.
can work. And I'm gonna be in attendance at WrestleMania, guys. Haha! I got tickets to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. It's good.
Yeah, I get to find out who will be in the main event, and then he gets to
And then I
watch
get
the
to
main
see
event.
the main event. Haha! I also got a friend. He also watches the podcast, or at least I think he does. So he's also going to the Royal Rumble. So it's gonna be a good time.
You know, I think I get the better deal out of it though because I get a weekend in Florida. You just go to Philly.
Yeah, Philly cheesesteaks out the ass, motherfucker! Woo!
Yeah, Philly cheesesteaks out the ass, but I'm gonna be chilling on a fucking beach in St. Petersburg, Florida,
Yeah, this is true.
in January when it's cold as shit up north.
This is facts. Yeah, we're based in the Northeast, guys, so it gets pretty cold up here. Anyway, back to Santos. So looks like Carlito's gonna go against Santos in order to avenge Rey Mysterio. And honestly, I don't think Carlito's coming out with a win on this one. I think he's gonna lose his first match back. Well, not his first match back, but his first singles match back.
I thought he had a singles match against Lashley.
Did he?
I think so.
I thought they mugged. I thought the Hurt Business mugged him before he got out there.
Matter of fact, no, he had a not even if it wasn't against Lashley, he had a singles match last week.
Fuck. That just goes to show how much I paid attention to SmackDown last week.
That's literally when Santos took out Ray.
That's true. Anyway, so forget I ever said that.
I agree though. I think Santos will win. It is his first match as a heel.
And I think they're trying to make him look as legit as possible. So therefore, I believe it is only right to assume that Mr. Santos Escobar is going to win this match, and maybe some people will come out and assist him, and he'll make an anti LWO or some bullshit. But I don't know who would do that. That's just a lot of speculation.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just teams up with Lashley in the Hurt Business a little bit.
That's true. But yeah, that's gonna do it for that match. I think Carlito is not winning this one, and now this next one, the next match on the card is pretty special. This one's had probably the most intriguing build up, and if I'm gonna be honest, I like with Crown Jewel, I had never really didn't really have a prediction as to who would win between Drew and Seth. It's the same kind of deal here with Gunther and the reigning defending.
It's the battle of the GOAT IC champs.
For real. So anyway, Miz has had a bit of a character shift lately. Guys, you're not gonna fucking believe this. Miz is a babyface.
Baby Miz.
Dude, that shit's fucking wild. As a exactly. Yeah, he's a fucking babyface. I mean, he only did this one other time at some point in 2018. It was only for like a month. But now, now that he's doing this again to go and try to get a, what is it, 9th Intercontinental Championship to tie the record?
Yeah, it'll be 9th.
Yeah, so as of right now, I think the person that holds the record for the most reigns is Chris Jericho. So, if Miz wins here, he'll become a 9-time Intercontinental Champion, and therefore tying the record. but not beating it. And of course, we all know Gunta. He's the longest reigning champion.
I feel like Miz will end up actually retiring with the record.
Do you think so?
I do. I honestly believe that Miz will retire with that record
So you think he's gonna win the Intercontinental Belt, lose it, then win it again?
eventually. Yeah.
Alrighty, so that's an interesting concept. I mean, Chris Jericho does work for AEW now, so I could totally see why they'd want to give Miz that record and not keep it over Chris Jericho. But anyway, Chris Jericho's been doing good things over in AEW, and I absolutely love his entrance song over there. I bump to Judas almost every single day.
Judas is like the only AEW song I know other than Metalingus, which started in WWE.
Well, I mean, that's an Alter Bridge song. So, I mean,
I didn't know that song until Edge.
that's true.
Let's be real.
That's true.
I mean, also, yeah, there's also Cult of Personality, but that's nowhere right now.
Yeah,
For now.
for now. And we're going to touch on that after we get the prediction for this match, though. And even though Miz has had like this crazy character development, and I mean, just seeing Miz run as this like pseudo babyface, I don't even think it's pseudo. I think he just
He's
is
babyface.
a babyface.
Baby Miz.
Seeing Baby Miz has been very like entertaining, and I love seeing it because it's something different. I mean, obviously with the Miz, you know you're gonna get a great heel worker, but when you get to see him play the other side and actually do extremely well at it, I mean, if you watched Raw last night on Monday, fucking the people were popping for him. Like he can get people to either love him or hate him, and that's like very fucking impressive. Like dude can play both sides of every coin because there are some people that can only roll one way or the other. Roman Reigns, for example, he can only make it as a heel. Like he could not make it as a babyface. I mean, I liked. I'm gonna be honest. I did enjoy. I didn't love. I mean, I love heel Roman Reigns, but I did enjoy babyface Roman Reigns. That's a little bit of an unpopular opinion that I had. Yes, he was booked completely wrong, and yes, they were shoving him down the throat. But like, it was Roman Reigns as a babyface, and I don't know. When I was 12, it just clicked with me. And but when he became a heel, obviously ascended to levels of superstardom that would have rather been unattainable had he kept that same shtick going. But anyway, despite Miz having this crazy babyface run, I still think Gunther's gonna retain. I don't think they're gonna give Miz the I don't think they're gonna give Miz the win here. I think they're gonna give it to him later on.
I'm gonna have to disagree on this. I believe the winner will be.
Awesome!
So not only do I think Miz is gonna win, coming into this pay-per-view, I wholeheartedly believe there is approximately a 50% chance that we do get a CM Punk return. And if it's to happen, it won't happen on the War Games match. If it happens, it will happen here after Miz wins this championship because of the history between Punk and Miz.
Which is true. I mean, they didn't have much of a history, but they did have history. And this could be a very easy feud that, if CM Punk is to return, it'll be a very easy feud that he can go into and do some good work within it. Of course, it's in Chicago. You've heard the rumors. We don't really need to say them here. We all know the speculation that CM Punk could be returning. He just got fired from AEW a couple months ago. And, well, he could return here. We don't know. We don't know, but
I don't want to say I'm confident about a return.
I'm not confident.
However, I am firm on about a 50%.
About a 50?
About a 50% chance, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's it. I'll go 55.
I honestly, I think they revealed Randy to distract.
From CM Punk's return.
I think there's two reasons. One, because if there is no CM Punk and it's Chicago, they'll be expecting CM Punk, and then Randy comes out, it'll ruin Randy Orton's return on it, I think, honestly. But at the same time, they could have also just announced it to distract from the fact that Punk might be there. That's why I say it's about a 50-50.
Just for wishful thinking, because I love CM Punk. I know a lot of y'all love to hate on CM Punk, but I love CM Punk. Dude was my childhood. Him, John Cena, Randy Orton, fucking shit up. That was me. That was childhood. So I love CM Punk, but just for wishful thinking, I'm gonna say 55%. Let me give myself a 5% more of an advantage. I'm still kind of doubtful though. But I'll say 55% that he comes back, and if he's coming back, he's gonna come back for this match and easily put himself into a feud with Miz.
Yeah, that would be the easiest feud for himself to launch himself into, and then who knows, after that feud, he can start feuding with some newer guys, maybe some other older guys that he's been with before.
Maybe he'll feud with Gunta. You'll never know.
He could feud with Gunta, but I feel like it would be a much easier feud to feud with somebody who you've gone against before.
Hmm. Yeah, so that's what we're thinking for that one. And this next one, I don't know. This has been the more like disconnected match. Like every single time I look at the Survivor Series card, I'm like, oh yeah, that match is on here. And I don't know if that speaks to the opponent or the champion here, but
It,
it's the women's championship, the women's world championship match between Zoe Stark and Rhea Ripley. Uh, with
um,
the Go ahead.
that just speaks to how they're like going about it, because like you don't think about that, because the way they're booking it. I mean, yeah, Rhea's around that. Yeah, you see Zoe around Rhea like every week lately, but also you still see Rhea or every moment around the men's War Games match. So you don't associate Rhea
Her
with
own match.
having her own match in
Yeah.
Survivor Series. You're associating Rhea with hanging around the War Games match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think they've been handling this one well at all. And to be honest, I mean, Rhea Ripley has been doing absolute wonders this past year. I mean, obviously, she's one of the most popular to know. She's one of the most popular superstars, despite being a heel. And I mean, she was the right person to put the championship around, seeming as her legit. She brings a sense of legitimacy and a sense of dominance to the women's division. But here's the thing: every single match that I think we've touched on this before, but if it might have been in the one that never made the final cut, but
The two that never made the
the
final
two
cut.
that never made the final cut, but but what I talked about, I deserve that, 100% deserved all of that. Anyway, so despite that, I've touched on this in other episodes that never made the final cut, and I never re-uploaded them because, well, it would have just not made any sense. So, Rhea has been incapable of having like good matches lately. Like every single match that she's ever in the contenders that they put her against, even when the the good on paper match between Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea, it didn't end up being good. It was like 3 stars at best.
The Fatal 5-Way was good.
The Fatal Five Way was good, but then again, I'd want to see Rhea work as the champion. I want to see the opponent work as the challenger. I don't want to see all 5 people at once going after the same damn girl. You know, you know, that's just normal college life. But
Whoa!
Anyway,
God damn.
yeah. God damn it. That has to make the final cut now. Holy shit. Anyway, the you know, regardless, I want to see Rhea have a good match. The only good match that she's been in was against Charlotte Flair back at WrestleMania when she won the damn belt. And ever since then, I don't know. It's been lackluster. I mean, I like Rhea Ripley. I don't want you to think that I'm bashing Rhea Ripley. I like her, but like the thing is, like I don't want to see you squash every single contender that comes up to you. You know, like make me add some drama. Make me think you're gonna lose. But regardless, even though I'm saying all that, Zoe Stark has had a very good year as well. Going into the Challenger now, she's had a very good year. Bursting onto the scene from NXT after she got drafted back in May and immediately aligned herself with Trish Stratus. Had a good match.
Main evented Raw.
Main evented Raw with her, and turned on her after the Trish and Becky match.
Which was a fucking phenomenal match.
That's honestly a match of the year contender. I'm gonna be fucking honest.
It was awesome.
That was my favorite match on Payback and in general. So, but regardless, it turned on her afterwards. Now she's doing this thing with Shayna Baszler and trying to be a babyface and all that. And I mean, Zoe's doing pretty good as a babyface. I don't know what the fuck she's doing around Shayna Baszler though. I don't know. It just seems like they kind of threw Shayna in there with her. Uh, like, because how in the fuck are you gonna make? Let's be honest. How in the fuck are you gonna make Shayna Baszler a babyface? Like,
Because it's Naruto.
you know what? You're right. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, and I'm gonna be the best Hokage. Anyway. Also, do we talk about anime on this? I don't know. I mostly do wrestling and MMA on here, music.
I don't believe we have.
Maybe we can.
We could.
I could talk for hours about Death Note, but that's about it.
I can talk for about 2 seconds about Death Note.
Yeah. I think
I could talk for hours about One Piece and My Hero and Dragon Ball and
all of which I'm yet to see.
other shit, but like I ain't seen no Death Note.
Yeah, you should. The best 37 episodes I've ever watched, honestly. But regardless, rolling back to wrestling, um, yeah, I don't know. They kind of just threw Shayna in there, and Zoe's been doing well. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna think things are staying status quo here because I think the person that dethrones Rhea Ripley is gonna be Becky Lynch,
Agreed.
and they're gonna keep Becky Lynch away from Rhea Ripley until WrestleMania.
They're putting
So
her on all the fucking side quests, just like Cody Rhodes.
for real, because they're just trying to keep them separate. Because I mean, ultimately, Cody Rhodes is the one to dethrone Roman, but and just as Becky Lynch is the one to dethrone Rhea.
Gotta give it to Cody though. He broke away from the side quest for a little bit on Friday.
Hell
He
yeah!
he attacked some bloodline.
He did attack some
He,
bloodline.
he finally, for the first time in months, he did a main mission,
Mm-hmm.
but now he's back to the side quest.
I mean, we can't forget about that stare down when Roman came back the first time, and
Yeah, so Cody's done two side quests, and I mean two main mission quests since Mania. So
since WrestleMania. Other than that, he's been doing all the side quests. Went into a program with Dominic Mysterio. Went into a fucking thing with Brock Lesnar that just made no sense at all. But I guess fuck it. We gotta put Cody with the bigger name. Holy shit. Um. Anyway. Uh. So, Gavin's dog here just bursted right in through the fucking door, and like he, like absolutely exploded his way into the fucking kitchen. But he at the door like fuck it. All right, so regardless, I think things are staying status quo here, and Rhea is going to retain this championship against Zoe Stark. But I'm honestly praying because Zoe Stark is a great in-ring worker. I'm honestly praying that Rhea actually has a good match this time and doesn't just squash Zoe Stark.
no, Zoe actually has been very good. Zoe herself has put on really great matches this year. I mean, when I first saw her, I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? She's like all with Trish Stratus and everything, and then like she did shit on her own, and it's great.
And you're like, holy fuck! I guess you just needed Trish to get eyes on her. Thank you, Trish. Anyway,
No, what I initially thought the problem was using Trish to get eyes on her.
Mm.
That's why I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then she had that one main event match while she was still with Trish. I'm like, okay, maybe I can get behind this. And then the stuff she's done without Trish since she fucking bitched on her, it's amazing.
it is amazing, and honestly, it's been a great time. But
However, she's not winning.
yeah, she's definitely not winning this shit.
I think they should put the tag titles on Shayna and Zoe.
You think?
I think so, honestly.
Yeah, that could work. I guess I could see that. But wait, who won the fucking? Was it Can? Who won the thing on Monday? Shit, I forgot.
It was Natalia and...
It was Natalia and Tegan Knox.
Yeah, Tegan Knox.
Yeah.
That's her name. Yep.
I was gonna say Candice LeRae, but I'm like, no, not Candice LeRae. She was in that match, though, was she? Fuck it.
I think so.
That was Monday.
But she still lost.
We talk about Saturday, and now.
Monday was last night, sir.
Do you feel him, sir?
Do you feel him, sir?
Yeah, I don't know. Moving on. We got 2 War Games matches, and for those of y'all that don't know what War Games is, and or those of y'all that are new to this whole professional wrestling scene, War Games, 2 rings, 2 cages.
No, one cage.
Oh yeah, 1 cage, 2 rings, and fucking bunch of people coming in from.
I mean, technically 3 cages because they leave a cage to get into the cage.
All right, so yeah, there's 2 cages at the stage. They got superstars within them. Usually it's a 5-on-5 match or 4-on-4. I don't know what they're doing.
I think it's usually 4-on-4 women's and 5-on-5 men's.
Wait a minute, hold on.
It's because right here 4-on-4 women's, 5-on-5 men.
Well, 1, 2, 3. Yeah,
There's not enough women in Damage Control that can actually fight.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I mean you should because Dakota Kai is still injured.
Well, yeah, Dakota Kai's gone, but like Bailey's good.
Yes, and she's in the War Games match.
Yes, it's true. All right.
That's why I said there's not enough women for a 5-on-5 in Damage Control.
Oh shit! I thought you were just straight discrediting damage control. I was like, oh wait, hold on.
No, I meant in a literal sense because there's 4 women that are medically cleared and then one that's still injured.
Okay, yeah, that was just a brief misunderstanding. Anyway, so moving on. Um, so we got Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch versus Bailey, Kyrie Sane, Asuka, and WWE Women's Champion Io Sky in a War Games match. So I don't know who won the vote because WWE did a fucking vote to see who gets the advantage.
I'm gonna assume it's probably the faces.
Yeah, because I mean, let's be honest, they're the baby faces. Obviously, they're gonna want to vote for the baby faces. So anyway, if the basically what it means to have advantage in War Games is like the whole match is gonna start off with 2 people in the ring, and in increments, kind of like the Royal Rumble, with the little countdown. Another superstar will enter War Games. So what it means to have the advantage is after, say, the first 2 people end up being Charlotte Flair and Bailey. I'll just say that. Then that means if they have an advantage, that means the next person to come out is going to come from Charlotte Flair's team. So then maybe it'll Bianca comes out to fight with Charlotte to go against Bailey. Then frickin' Kyrie Sane's going to come out. And then after it's evened out, then so on and so forth.
Keep in mind the match doesn't begin until all members of each team are within the cage.
And once they're in the cage, then it's a pinfall submission to win. But before then, it's absolute mayhem.
I love chaos.
Chaos. I am Kira. Anyway, so that's what that's what that's gonna be. So anyway, this is gonna be a crazy match. I can already see it happening. I mean, look, just listen to the names that we listed off, and I'm happy. I gotta talk about one person that's on here though. Obviously, 2 people, should I say? So Kyrie Sane just came back, and Shotzi. I think this is probably their big moment. Like what gets them to be over even more, whether it be for better or for worse. Would you agree?
Come again?
Okay. Anyway, so I think this is like, think about it. So they were doing like straight nothing with Shotzi until they gave her this damage control storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking this is like Shotzi's like big moment,
Correct.
like career defining.
Correct.
And I think it's the same for Kyrie Sane since she just came back.
Correct.
There you go. Looks like we're on the same page.
Wonderful.
Awesome!
So anyway, with this whole match going down, and I mean the new damage control with Asuka in it and Kyrie Sane in it, as well as our typical players of Bailey, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. I kind of like how they were.
No Dakota Kai. That's the intro one, remember?
Well, yeah, but she's still technically in it. She's not competing, but she's still in damage control. You know what I mean?
I suppose.
Anyway, so damage control was pretty much dead in the water for like a hot minute, but ever since the whole Asuka heel turn and the whole Kyrie Sane comeback at Crown Jewel, it's been actually rather interesting again because this is the most interesting damage control has been since damage control formed back in SummerSlam 2022.
Correct.
So I mean, I'm kind of excited, and then of course with the addition of Asuka, the whole heel turn that she did, I don't know. Asuka's character is so weird, man. I mean, she's a beautiful in-ring worker, but like at the same time, like her character's always a little. I can't really tell whether or not she is like heel babyface. I mean, obviously right now she's aligning herself with heel, so she's a heel. She's like always plays that like middle woman. You know what I mean? It's just odd to me. Who the fuck texted you?
My mother.
Damn. Shout out to all the mothers in the world. Y'all are doing a whole lot. Anyway. So this will be a rather exciting match. But ultimately, if I'm to give a prediction here, I think they're going to give it to the new and improved damage control. I'll be completely and totally honest. Because I don't think you would make damage control this much better and have this much more, like, I guess, status to them by adding Asuka and Kairi Sane. And I think they're not going to try to stop that momentum. So I honestly think the heels are going over in this match. What you thinking, Gavin?
1 second. I am replying to my mother.
God damn it. All right, so yeah, gonna be a crazy match. Obviously, gonna be very
Okay.
technical on paper. But what's your prediction? I already gave mine.
Oh, yes. So I think Bailey will get pinned. Specifically Bailey. And then Bailey will be removed from
So,
Damage Control.
you think the baby faces are gonna come out with a win on this one?
Honestly, not really. However, I think Bailey's going to get kicked out. And I think that's the way it's going to happen. If it does.
I don't know if they're gonna do it this early. I mean, they just formed this whole alliance 2 weeks ago. I don't think they're gonna
I'm
try to.
50-50. It's either faces win and Bailey gets kicked out, or Damage Control wins.
I'm pretty sure Damage Control is gonna win this one.
Perhaps.
Almost certain.
Probably.
So yeah, that's been the best one.
Mhm.
And now we have another War Games match. Don't think that's the only one. We got the men's War Games match coming in.
This War Games match was introduced in a very particular manner
And it was with
by
these,
Mr. Adam Pearce.
with these very words.
You four want to play games? You four want to play games? Then we'll play games in Chicago at Survivor Series in War Games.
Everybody give it up for Gavin with that absolutely on point Adam Pearce impression. And the fact that he memorized that whole little segment, that's impressive. But anyway, this whole match has been crazy, and it's the ultimate, cultivating moment in this gigantic, very long, and drawn out storyline between Jey Uso. Oh, technical difficulties.
Not very technical. Biological difficulties.
Doggy go woof woof. And doggy be very loud whilst going woof woof. Anyway, so we have this ever growing and a completely almost never ending storyline between Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, and I'm forgetting a person. Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Randall, Keith, Orton.
I was gonna segue into that, but okay, now that the cat's out the bag, yes. And fuck it, might as well go over into, and then of course Judgment Day with Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough. So,
and Drew McIntyre.
I was also gonna segue into that. Anyway, so fuck it. Let me just go for it. Fuck it. So anyway, Drew McIntyre has turned heel finally. We've been clamoring for this for a while now, and Drew McIntyre has needed this for a while now because even though we all love Drew McIntyre, he was getting a little stale. They weren't doing much with them, so they had to switch it up a little bit.
Because they took away his high friend.
Because they took away his high friend. R.I.P. Matt Riddle.
Well, he's not fucking dead.
Well, yeah, he's just cut. He's dead in WWE's eyes. Anyway, so Drew McIntyre has been in a little bit of a limbo, but never since he got this brand new attitude with Jey Uso coming over to Raw, courtesy of Cody Rhodes, to get Jey Uso away from the Bloodline, because let's just say the Bloodline drew him to almost quit WWE, or actually straight quit WWE storyline wise, and then he came back, and because of Cody Rhodes, and they brought him to Raw instead of SmackDown. Now, Drew McIntyre didn't like that because I don't know if you'll recall, back in September of 2022, Drew McIntyre had a banger of a match against Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle and beat Roman Reigns. But here's the thing.
Womp womp.
The Bloodline interfered and cost him the match, as the Bloodline usually does in all of Roman's title defenses. Now, you would think since he moved on to different programs since then, I mean, obviously went into the Gunta storyline with the Sheamus storyline, then, of course, the McRiddle storyline. You would think that he would forget about this. Nope. This dude's
Mackie Mac doesn't forget.
Mackie Mac doesn't forget. This dude's still holding on. he's so angry because as he was about to win the WWE Championship again, this time in front of a whole crowd in his home country and not at the Thunderdome and at the Pandemomania back in 2020, and in front of nobody in his crowning moment, that made him a little bit bitter that he was about to win in front of his friends and family. And, well, Bloodline. And guess who was a part of the Bloodline? Jey Uso.
Jey Uso said.
Yep. And, as soon as that happened, Drew McIntyre's like, I don't know why everybody's being so nice to Jey Uso. He's still a part of the Bloodline. He still costs a lot of people different matches. And now that they're gone, now that it's all, fucking all sorts of fucked up now. He went into a match with Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship back at Crown Jewel
And choked.
and choked hardcore. Lost to,
Like full on gargling.
yeah, he choked hard. I thought that was going to be a much better match than it ended up being. But, I mean, it was still a good match. But, like, I feel like it could have been a little bit better.
Honestly, it was just too much of a wild card.
It was way too much of a wild card because, I mean, Drew McIntyre is a guy that we want to see win the big ones, right?
Like wild cards are good and all, but
When it's that much of a wild
when
card,
it's that much of a wild card,
it's a little.
I mean, wild cards are good when the outcome is one or the other.
Yeah.
But it was such a wild card. It was one or the other multiplied by
Like-
priest or no priest.
Facts. I feel as though it could have been a little bit better than it ended up being. I mean, the match itself was tremendous. I mean, you put Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins in a ring, they're gonna make some magic. But it's just it was a little underwhelming to say the least. Because I mean, we expected like a whole cash in from Damian Priest to, if Seth were to come out with a win, he'd come running down with the briefcase, cash it in, and then finally take this belt off of Seth Rollins. Because that's been the problems. I mean, Seth Rollins was the choice to give this title to, but here's the thing: like all the people that he went against, I found myself rooting for the heel more because they had more of a reason to win, and they're all people that we want to see win. I mean, I want to see Finn Balor win a big one. I want to see Drew McIntyre win a big one. I want to see Shinsuke shine with this new character, but unfortunately, um, the title holder Seth Rollins, who just happens to be one of the most popular superstars in the whole company.
And
Right
they're not
now.
recording Captain America yet.
And they're not recording Captain America yet, so he's not going away anytime soon. So like he goes into all these matches, these high ticket, high profile matches against people that we want to see win and ultimately have a better reason to win. And then they ended up giving it to Seth. They don't really justify Seth being the champion. They don't really make the baby face shine here, and I think that shit comes down to whole Triple H booking in general, because I think he doesn't know how to really book a babyface champion. Because I mean, all the heel champions are great. Don't get me wrong, but like he gave the heel all the more reason to want to win this match and made the people accidentally get behind the person that they're not supposed to go against. That they're not supposed to go with rather. He doesn't really justify Seth, besides Seth saying that he's a workhorse and that he's always here for the people and bullshit. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's just not it. You have to give Seth Rollins a story as well as Drew McIntyre's story, because Drew McIntyre had a great story going into that. Obviously, wins the WWE Championship in front of no one, gets robbed of winning it in front of his friends and family, and then now he wants Seth's belt. And that's a great story, but you don't give Seth a good story. You really don't. He just says that he's even though he's like crippled and his back is broken, he's still out here defending the title for everybody. I'm like, that's just so shallow that I can, like, it's not even ankle deep. That's how shallow it is. And, yeah, I don't know. And it's made me, I mean, because I like Seth Rollins, guys. Don't get me wrong. But it's made me turn on Seth Rollins more because I want to see him lose the belt to one of those guys. But yet he never does. And then that's just how I'm looking at it. But because of all this, and the whole losing the championship match at Crown Jewel cleanly, and then Jey Uso still roaming around doing Jey Uso things, it just made Drew McIntyre a little bit more angry. And then with the tag title match where Cody and Jay go to regain their tag championships against the Judgment Day. Drew McIntyre appears out of nowhere, claymores Jey Uso, throws him in the ring, and costs him the championship the same way, not exactly the same way, but the same way that Jey Uso and the Bloodline prevented him from winning the WWE Championship. And this time, Drew McIntyre and the Judgment Day prevented Jey Uso from getting the tag titles back. And then, after that happens, shakes Rhea Ripley's hand, and now all of a sudden, he's on their War Games team. And then we have the baby faces left in a particular scenario. They don't have a fifth guy. But then Cody says something. He has an old friend that he's going to call. One that he has a legacy with. And that man being Randall Keith Orton, returning from injury after more than a year away from action. And I'm going to be honest, I was like fucking going bazonkers after Randy Orton was announced to come back. I mean, we've been speculating that Randy Orton was going to come back for a while now. He did recover from his injury. He was seen at the Performance Center. Obviously, it's been long enough. We all want to see Randy Orton back because we all love Randy Orton. And well, now he's finally back, and he's on Cody Rhodes' team with Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, and Sami Zayn. So that's exciting. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how long this return's gonna last for Mr. Randy Orton, because if he's going out on this many injuries, and I mean, let's be honest, the RKO is great and all, but like that's voluntarily taking a back bump, and accumulate that over years and years, and then your body not really being like it used to be. This leads to a very long-term horrendous injury. So I mean, yes, it's great to have Randy Orton back, but like, for how long? I mean, we just saw Cena get absolutely demolished by Solo Sikoa. Now we have a returning Randy Orton, but like, how long is he gonna stay? I mean, I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna go nuts when he comes out, but just don't know for how long this is gonna be. So I guess we'll have to enjoy it while it's here, just like we enjoyed the Cena run while it was there.
Get a few good RKOs in. Maybe a punt kick or two.
I'd love to see the punt kick used again. That thing was so devastating, like quite literally.
Because it was hard to sell, so the foot almost always made actual contact.
And then, well, a boot to dome usually isn't good for the old melon. So, yeah, I'd love to see Randy Orton on this run. I'm excited, and I'm happy to see him team up with Cody Rhodes for the first time in like fucking years. And now we actually get to see Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton in the same ring after they both ascended to absolute superstardom. Got to think, how does Randy feel about that? Because Cody Rhodes was like his little protege, and then he's the mentor. Now he sees Cody Rhodes as like the biggest babyface in the company. I wonder how he feels. Probably super proud, super happy. Like, yeah,
Indeed.
that's my guy right there. But yeah, this is gonna be an exciting match. I mean, on paper, I don't really need to say much about it, but so fuck it. It's gonna be a good match, and honestly, I think they're gonna give the good guys the win here. I think Cody, Seth, Sammy, Randy, and Jay are gonna win.
I believe the faces will win. However, last time Randy Orton was in a WWE ring, it ended with Jimmy and Jey Uso fucking him up pretty bad.
Fucking him up pretty
I
bad.
believe after the win, Shut the fuck up. Randy Orton will RKO Jey Uso.
And then what happens then? You think we're gonna get a Jey Uso and Randy Orton feud? Randy Orton taking his usual role as a heel.
Who knows?
But anyway, this is shaping up to be a pretty good match card, and I think we don't. It's a rather short card, so we don't really got much more to say here. I mean, you got anything to add? I think we're good here, guys. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. This is a rather short one, so I mean, not a whole lot needs to be talked about. This is more just prolonged story, and this is ultimately the climax of it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, go follow us on social media. We're front.row.access on Instagram, Actually, no, front_row_access on Instagram, front.row.access on TikTok. Go and email us at frontrowaccess15@gmail.com. Pepsi, you know what to do. Hit us up. And of course, thank you guys for watching, and we're clear.
Deuces, ooses.
Woo!